Morning. I will be the other one presenting. There'll be no skits, no people walking around with cars and whatnot. But how many of you watch Shark Tank? How many of you like it? I hate it. For two reasons. One of them, in part, it's my life as part of the Northland Angel Investor Network. So when I come home, I don't want to watch my own work. But in part, it's really not what angel investing is all about. There's a lot of theatrics there. People magically show up at this show, and 10 minutes later, somebody gives them an offer or a counter offer for what they're asking. In reality, angel investing is not like that at all. A little background on myself. 2 years ago, I moved from Colorado to the Kansas City area. When I was in Colorado, I was involved in 30 to 35 startups, multiple angel investment networks, and some venture capitalists. When I got here, I said, well, what do I really want to do? So I looked around the area, actually saw in the newspaper that there was a planning session in the Clay County EDC. There were 8 names, 8 people at the table. I took the names and I called all 8. One of them was Maria Myers at UMKC, KC SourceLink. And I talked to her. Maria has a very good pulse of the entrepreneurial community here in the Kansas City area. And I asked her, how do I get involved in building foundation type things for entrepreneurialism? A lot of people don't realize it, but the Front Range of Colorado develops 95% of all computer peripherals in the world. It also had, at one time, more startups than any county in the United States. So I compared what was here and what was there, and I said, what's missing here? 2 things that I saw, and I corroborated this with Maria. One of them is that there are a lot of software development going on, but not a lot of devices being developed. And you saw previously that in May there will be an event, and one of the sponsors of that is the Device Shop in Shawnee. With 2 other people, I helped start that. The other thing that I saw was that the ideas, the entrepreneurialism here was gaining a lot of momentum, but the funding really was not keeping up with it. So what can we do? And I got involved with the Clay County EDC and Jim Hampton. Said, what are your plans here in the Northland? Because I live up here. And they said, well, we are trying to attract companies into the area, but we're also trying to grow new companies. I said, well, what are the activities that are going on to try to do that? And they said, well, we are trying to get companies, to start here, but truthfully, there isn't enough money in the areas that for early stage companies. Okay, so we are trying to put together an angel network, and so I got on the steering committee for the EDC. And as things progressed, basically, I became the director of the Northland Angel Investor Network, which was really officially put together November of last year. So today we have 14 angels. We meet once a month. We've reviewed 2 companies as the total membership. We are going to talk a little bit about the process, but we review those companies, and then if there's enough interest, we go into the due diligence process, and the investment is made, so on and so forth. We are in the process right now in the due diligence of our first company, and we have 3 others that people have expressed interest in investing in. The companies are, the idea is to get the companies to either be here in the Northland or have a component of their business here in the Northland. I'm receiving 3 to 5 new business plans a week. I have a list of now 60-some business plans. So if you think about the Shark Tank scenario, the two that we review have actually gone through. We've got a 6-phase, 1,200-step process that we take those companies through in order to go through an investment. Okay? So that's kind of how this evolved. We are hoping to invest in 3 to 5 companies this year. Okay? So let me just kind of talk to you about where this goes. So we're really looking to provide good quality investments. If we don't get good investments for the investor, obviously we're not going to get additional investors in our group. The ROIs for investments typically range from the 10 to 50% range. Our goal here is not to be a venture capitalist. Venture capitalists typically will invest in, well, they'll look at 400 companies, they'll invest in one of that 400, and they're looking for the home runs. So if they have 10 companies they invest in over a 10-year period, they're looking for 2 of those, of the 10 companies, to carry the entire portfolio, which means they have to take 2 of those companies either to an IPO stage, or they have to have a major buyout. Their returns are looking for the 50x multiples in the company. We're not looking to do that. We're looking to have 8 out of our 10 companies be successful with lesser returns. So using a baseball analogy, they're looking to hit home runs, we're looking to hit the singles and doubles. Okay? So we're really trying to find good quality companies and to create jobs for the community right here in the Northland. Okay? People oftentimes get confused with what's an angel investor. An angel investor is actually an accredited investor, and the SEC has a specific requirement for that. That requirement is that you must have an annual income of $200,000 or more for the last 2 years, or have a net worth of over $1 million, excluding your primary residence. Okay, it can be your business. So we're looking for new investors. Investors need not have been angel investors in the past, so we will help train those investors and get them up to speed. Okay. Another bit of confusion about angel investing is we always invest in startups. That is not usually the case. And there's really phases that companies go through. The first one really is what we call the proof of business phase, which means it gets you up to the point where you're ready to start producing revenue. Most of those companies, or virtually all those companies, are not bankable. So we get involved in those early stages. And that's what we either call seed capital, or in the next stage is Series A capital, which means that you are post-revenue. So you've already producing some revenue with some clients. And then carrying that on, a company could be 10 years old and be looking to grow. We will look at those companies as well. Okay. We do, I right now have, I believe it's 8 other angel groups that I am talking to right now for co-investments in the area, ranging from Mid-America Angels, which is down in Kansas. There's a couple other groups right around the Kansas City area. I was out in St. Louis 2 weeks ago, and there's 2 angel groups out there. And there's an angel group up in Des Moines as well as in Omaha. We need those angel groups because in many cases, especially with our angel group that's as young as it is, we oftentimes cannot put the full investment together. Our charter is to invest in $200,000 to $2 million per company. If company's looking for $3 million, and I do see these companies, we can't do that. However, I can probably syndicate that through other angel groups. So that is going on as well. We divide the companies in 3 tiers. First tier are the companies that will probably never get more than $20 million in value. we'll still look at those companies. They're still viable companies. They're still, you know, a lot of family-owned companies that are looking for, you know, capital to grow or turnaround. And then the second is really probably the area that we'll do most of the investing in, and that's really companies that will be $20 million to $200 million. Ultimately, these companies will be targeted for investment bankers. They'll never become public companies, but they'll be good, strong local companies. And of course, every now and then, a home run we hope will come by, exceeding $200 million, which then puts it in the IPO range or the major acquisition range. Okay. This is our organization. Basically, my company, Birch Creek Partners, is managing this. We've set up a nonprofit organization to do that management. We've got an accounting firm, we've got a legal firm behind us. How do we go through the selection? We go through a 10-step process to assess the businesses. We're really looking for good, solid businesses to invest in. And this is kind of the process overall in a phased approach. So I've got a team to look at these 60 companies that we've got on our table right now. We narrow it down once a month to 2 presenters, so it is a competition. And from then, if the people like it, they say we want to invest in it, we'll go through a full due diligence process, which is this whole 1,200-step process. From that, the deal is struck and the money is put in. Okay? So in terms of returns, people always ask me this. Well, they are oftentimes more risk. They typically are higher risk than, say, a bankable project. But you know, returns having 15, 20, even 50% returns is not unheard of in this arena. But we're really looking for the sustainability of the company and the high probability they're going to succeed regardless of those returns. Okay. So here's a philosophy: singles and doubles. Help the company from an idea all the way to an exit strategy, and you know, if we're trying to do 3 to 5 businesses a year. If we can do that, we can grow a lot of new companies here in Northland. So. Any questions? Thank you.
We got one back there.
Go ahead.